Howdy all, Nimby here. Just getting the rest of the stream set up here. There we go. Alright, today we're tying a fly called the Annihilator. It's very similar to buck-tailed caddis. It's a type of caddis. It's just a much lighter searching pattern. To start off with, we're going to be tying in two different red rooster hackles. These are saddle hackles. And we're going to be using black. Uni thread 6/0. Just going to see if I got any lighter tan handy. I might switch up to tan because this is a lighter searching pattern. You can tie it in black though, however. Which color are you? You have no color? Hey, some kind of tan color. Might actually go for a camo. Nah, that's a 6/0. We'll give those a try. Getting our own cleaned up. It's a new spool. I just don't think I've used this one before. Looks new. So we'll make sure, careful for the first bit in case there's any nicks. Hey Willie, good to have you, mate. Now we're gonna start off just about the 1/3 mark right here. I should do. Hey Willie, good to have you in. Tying up a Annihilator today. It's a type of elk or caddis, basically. Gonna start thread base all the way back. And we're gonna stop the thread base just at the barb here. It's a little bit farther back than the caddis we were tying yesterday. Where'd the scissors go? There we go. There we go. So we have a couple options for body material as well. I'm gonna be using a bit of both, I think. We got some fairly thin, kind of tan colored chenille, and some wool, number 17 punch card wool, in the same kind of yellowy tan color. You can also use dubbing too if you got rabbit fur dubbing. anything in this light tan color. So if you got some like bleached beaver or muskrat, would work really well as well in the bleach color. You just want to keep it nice and light. We're also going to be using some nice white-tailed deer hair. You want to pick, again, the lighter colored deer hair, so this nice kind of straw yellow is what we're shooting for. Hey Rob, good to have you, mate. But to start off with, the first steps is going to be just tying in the hackle. And we have 2 hackles here. The recipe calls for 2. If you have a really nice quality hackle, I'm sure you can get by with just 1 just fine. This is an older recipe from about 1930s, so they didn't have genetic hackle back then. This is also not genetic hackle, as you can tell by the large rachis part there. This is just your typical barnyard rooster. However, it's a very nice, typical barnyard rooster. Now I'm just going to clip off a little bit on either side here before we tie it in, and then we'll do the same with the second. Just going to make little stubbies there, you can see on the end. That'll help hold it in. You can definitely cut off a whole lot more than that if you like, because it's going to get tied in. You could tie this in the full shank length if you have the desire to. I'm just going to be tying in the first bit here though, and that should do us just fine. I don't expect it to take off on us, but if you're a newer tire or you just have some smaller, brittler, slipperier hackle, then yeah, just tie it in a little longer. You'll be just fine. There's our second one. Now we're going to bring our thread all the way back to the tie-in point to tie in our body material. Okay. I'm kind of humming and hawing over whether I should go with chenille or the wool. I think I'm going to start off with the first couple just with the chenille. This is an old vintage chenille. Tell by how it's flat. A lot of the original chenilles from before the 70s were flat weave like this, and basically you spin it after you tie it in, and that'll give you a nice round chenille. Yeah, this one's quite old, but it meets the pattern. So this pattern comes from about the 1930s, and so does the chenille. Actually, chenille's probably more like 45 or 50. But in either case, we're just going to cut off a section, and you know, roughly hand length, so you still got enough to wrap in and a little bit to play with. You can probably get 2 or 3 flies out of that just fine. I'm just going to clip this off because it went a little bit farther ahead than I was originally intending. And then we're going to tie that in just to build up the body a little bit. If it's your preference to tie in at the butt section, you can tie this in at the butt section as well. But tying in the body length will give us a little bit more of a fuller body, especially with this older chenille. Needs a little help sometimes. Tying that through, we're just gonna go right back to those, right back to the barb point there. You can see the thread hanging down at the barb point, and we'll go back up to the top. This one's a rather easy fly. There's really only 3 main materials: the hackle, whatever you're using for the body, and you can definitely use dubbing as well. The traditional pattern probably would have used dubbing more often than a chenille or a wool, but your mileage may vary. Whatever you got hanging around is good. You just want to get this nice light colored like a straw yellow. I'm not going to bother with the hackle pliers on this because I got a pretty good hold on it, but you're more than welcome to use. Hey, wee man. Good to have you, mate. Now we're going to just palmer that up nice and tight all the way up to that 1/3 mark and then tie it off. I like to tie mine off on anything with an overwing on the side. There's some upsides and downsides to where you tie off with that. If you tie off on the top, it'll hide your tie off point better for you. Most of the time you can't see it, but it does help tie. You can see there's just a little puff there where it's tied off. If that is on the top, then of course your overwing will cover it. The downside of putting it on top, however, is your overwing won't sit as straight because it's gonna have a lump there. So that's why I generally tie it on the side, on the side that I'm looking at, so I can kind of control it and deal with any poofiness that might show up. Okay, so we got our 2 hackle feathers here. We're just gonna palmer that up. I'll clean off. There's a couple. I can just tell how this is wrapping. There's gonna be a couple wayward strands here, and I'm gonna do these one at a time. So one and then the other. And just following up that. Chenille line here. There we are. Just going in between the chenille. You can do the opposite as well, as you can palmer it backwards from the head and tie in a fine copper wire. That'll give you a lot more durability for the fly. That is definitely an option. Again, if you got some nice genetic hackle with a much higher barb count, then you can feel free to just use a single hackle. The original recipe calls for 2, mostly because they didn't have genetic hackle back then, and they want a nice thick buggy body. Also helps with the dry fly technique. Just bending the racus a little bit there. I'm gonna have to trim that out. Actually, 1 second here. Before I do that, I'm gonna throw a half hitch in this just so I don't unravel my thread. And we'll pop that up in our bobbin keeper there. Okay, I'm just gonna follow the same route here that we were taking with the first one. Try not to trap any fibers. Most of the time we don't have to worry about it, however. There it be. Extra buggy. And just gonna push those guys back a little bit. Got a couple fibers, got to deal with the front and the back. You can split off more of your fibers before you tie it in, so the first wrap or two doesn't stick out on you. And you'll have a lot less cleanup, if any. But it only takes a second to snip it off as well. So your mileage may vary, whatever you like. Okay, so there we go. Got our nice little body ready to go. We want to leave a good amount of space here for the tie-in point. So basically like a half-hitch tool width. Hey, Country Sheriff. Good to have you in, man. Just doing up some Annihilators today. It's a type of small, light-colored elk hair caddis, basically. I got our half hitch in just to hold that tension down. And we'll get our, not using elk hair in this case, but I have some really nice whitetail, Appalachia whitetail. Actually, it has this really nice kind of straw yellow, just like an elk. This flares really abundantly. So here's our dark searching pattern. You'll see it next to our light searching pattern here. Now this is a smaller fly, so we don't need a huge amount of hair on top for the wing, but having it flattened out, kind of like so, you can see it's nice and flat. You want it to be roughly the gap height, so right about there. Okay, and you can see this is all different lengths, so we're going to stick it in our hair stacker. That's this deal. And in it goes. It's going to stack all our tips up all nice for us. Actually, before I toss it right in there, I'm just going to clean out some of this under hair. That'll help it stack. For this specific pattern, it's not terribly required, but you can see there's lots of under fur in this batch. I'll just tap those to lose my fur. Come on, buddy, where'd you go? There you go. Come on, you want to be part of a fly. You're a nice big long one. Get in there. I want the tips to be fairly even on this. They can be a little bit off. This is just an overwing, but since there is no tail to line it up with, it's a much nicer, tighter fly if you can get them to all line up. We'll remove that off. There's our tips. And I'm just packing it like a snowball. There's one or two broken sections in here. I'm just gonna pop those out. There we go. That's what we're looking for, this nice light yellow straw color. There we go. Just brought the exposure up a little bit. I think it was a little on the dark side. Okay, and we want this to come out a fair bit, so we want the light tips. Keep sliding this off with my fingers. I'm just going to restack this quick here. There's the broken one. Pop him out of there. There it be. Okay, so yeah, it's a pretty large overwing on this one compared to the last couple we were tying. This one, you want to have the overwing almost like a quarter of the shank past the end of the butt of the shank there. So for this specific patch of hair, it's almost the whole light straw colored section. Alright, it's just fighting me today. Trying to pin it down. There we go. If you pack it like a snowball, you can generally get it to stay more broom shaped. We want to have that going off. Right about there. I'm going to pin it down and also try and pull the hackle back at the same time. The first wrap's going to be soft. We're going to be cutting this off on an angle after. I want to keep it right on top if we can. I'm going to tilt it a little bit towards myself to counter the spin. And one more time. And a third. We should be good to start our wraps. There we go. Was that even for? Was you playing your games? Was you really bored? No. Yeah, I'm just working my way back from the eye and just using moderate wraps. I don't use too much tension here. The more tension you put in, the more flare you're gonna get. Should be enough now to let go and see what we got. Well, that's not a bad wing. Just gonna fluff it up a little bit there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That turned out okay. Hey, Landon, good to have you in, man. It's been a bit. So now we're going to cut this off on a 45. You want to leave a stubby front. I'm going to use my bent curved scissors for this. Oh, there was a nice Euro rod. Oh, which one was it now? Flyfish Food, actually. The Cheech just did a short video on it too, so I cannot remember the name off the top. I want to say like Reliance, but I know that's the wrong name. I think it starts with an R though. That's why my brain's doing that. But yeah, check out, go to Flyfish Food. I'm sure you know that channel. And Cheech did a review on one, I want to say like a week or two ago. Should be able to find it in their shorts. And that one's kind of like the best kind of bang for your buck right now. And I think it comes in, so it depends on the place you get it at, but some places even with like a rod reel combo you can get them for about 180. Might have been, yes, it might have been. Like I said, I'm having trouble remembering off the top of my head, but yeah, that's a great bang for buck fly rod. I've seen lots of really good reviews about it. And really honest reviews. Charlie Craven was talking about it too, but I don't think he really reviewed it. I think he just was conversating. So anyway, I'm going to pull this up on an angle here. About 45 off the hook from the other, basically the same direction the wing's going. And we're going to come in and cut it off. I'm going to leave a stubby part. Like so. We just want to leave that little poof in the front. And that'll not only help to pop a lot of I was gonna keep this hair for some muddlers later, but I can't find my little container. Here, I'll throw it in this hair stacker for now. But yeah, that's pretty much the finished fly. Nice, sick, simple, quick, light-colored searching caddis. So this little front here will act as a head, represent eye, stalk, and they have really bushy, busy, messy front leg areas. So when you're retrieving it into, this will help not only keep it upright, but it'll pop the water in front of you. It does great for that. Sorry, just getting rid of some notifications keep popping up. 1 second here. Got a burr callus on my finger that line keeps catching on and trying to get rid of it. It always seems to show up right in that spot where your thread rubs. Okay, so for the to finish it off, we're just gonna do a 1/2 inch underneath, and then we'll whip finish on top where the collar is there. One thing I used to like to do with these two is you can actually accent color that collar if you want to. In this case, I'm using this kind of olive green. It's almost like a camel brown, but I think it's a little bit more touch of green in it than a true olive, or than a true camel. But you can make that an accent collar if you like to tell them apart. It's handy for weighted flies, but like in this case, if you want to tell the difference between, say, a 6, an 8, and a 10, now just slightly different colored thread collars there. Works good when you're, a box full of flies and you just want to tell the difference between your 5 or 6 different caddis types. Where did I put my whip finisher? There she is. Getting a number of fibers sticking out here. I'm hoping they will just behave for 10 minutes. Or longer than that, hopefully, but behave while I get the whip finish going. Yeah, it looks like we'll be okay. Yeah, so we're just going to whip fish right onto that collar. And how thick you make the collar is really personal preference. Some people like to make it fairly thick. There we go. Now I'm just going to clean up a little bit with the tweezers here, because there's just a couple odd deer hair and hackle that are just a little overzealous. Yeah, this is a great little searching pattern once you get any sort of terrestrial dry hatch going. This is great to toss out there just to see. You should generally always have a couple of each, so you should have some dark searching patterns and some light searching patterns. This would be on the light side. Just trimming her up, making her look pretty. She's pretty much done. Just gotta throw a little head cement on that collar section there. There we are, just standing the head up a little bit. There we are, she's pretty. So that's an Annihilator. Really simple, small, light colored caddis imitation. Headsman didn't want to open there for a second. Again, there's just one fiber that's messing around there. Pop that out. They're happy with him. There's your Annihilator. Light colored straw colored caddis. Wonderful little light searching pattern. And do a little spin and spiel on him here. And the device today we have an Annihilator. This is a nice light colored, smaller caddis pattern. In this case it's using whitetail, Appalachian whitetail deer for the top, for the overwing and the head. It has some red hackle palmered up along the body with some yellow vintage chenille for the body material. You can definitely use dubbing as long as you got it in the nice light straw color, or even wool would work well. It's originally tied back in the 1930s, so it's an older pattern, but it's definitely a wonderful one to have in your box as your light colored searching caddis pattern. Yeah, I would carry one of these and then some of the dark bucktail caddises that we tied earlier. You should generally have some light and some dark searching patterns in your box. Wonderful little thing, add a couple to your box, say. Alright, one done. We'll get a few more of these going. He can go hang out next to his dark brothers here. There we go. There's the darker ones with the mule deer. And the lighter one. Sometimes that little color difference will be what it takes to get the bigger, older, smarter trout to nail it. There we go. If the colors and contrast aren't just right, sometimes they'll let it go. If you're finding you're picking up a lot of smaller fish and you can see bigger ones rising, you might want to switch to a slightly lighter color or a darker color depending on what you're starting with. But yeah, this Danville 70 denier seems to be working just fine, so we're going to stick with that. Again, 1/3 mark. Okay, so again, we're going to start 1/3 mark here. And get our thread base done up. Right back to the barb. Cut off our waist end. And we're going to tie in 2 of our rooster hackles there. And just gonna remove the web. Just gonna stop right about there. And just leave a little bit of a tying point. You can tie this in full length of the shank if you want to strip your hackle right down there. Won't hurt nothing. We tie in two so we can get a nice bushy start on it. Again, this is an older pattern. They didn't have genetic hackle back then. A lot of original recipes do call for more than one hackle to be tied in. Yeah, for some patterns you can get up to 3 or 4, whatever it takes to fill it in. But nowadays we have modern genetic hackle. You don't have to worry about that as much. But there's nothing wrong with using the old style stuff either. This is just regular barnyard rooster in brown. It is a saddle though, so it is rather nice and stiff. And again, I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to return our thread back up, tie-in point, tie this in at the tie-in point, and then continue wrapping that down right where we're going to tie in the wing. And bind this in all the way back to our barb point right where your hackle starts. And back up again. Now, since this is an old vintage chenille, we'll have to spin it. We'll get some twist on there. Spin it up, brush it out. I'll fluff it up. There we go. And I just have to be mindful as we're wrapping it that we don't lose that twist. And just touching turns all the way up. And our hackle's going to follow that. Getting a lot more off the chenille than I thought I was gonna. I get 3 flies out of that one piece. There we go. Okay, so that's tied in. Now we're gonna palmer up that hackle. I'm actually going to use the couple half hitches here, and we'll get that up in the bob and cradle and just use the rotary. You can wrap a hand if you like, whatever works for you. And it should just follow your chenille groove all the way along. nice and easy like. Same as if you're using wool, it'll be pretty easy for you to do that. And just tie off the hackle. Not going to worry about cutting off the wayward fibers right yet, because we're going to have that second piece coming up here shortly. Okay. We'll come in with a couple half hitches here and then we'll trim that out. Okay. Okay, so for the deer hair, again, we're going to be using this nice straw-colored Appalachia deer hair. There's a whitetail. This will be from just between the flank and the belly patch. We want to use a piece that's roughly about, when it's flattened out, about the gap height. So we're just a little bit over that, and that's fine because we'll be losing a few when we're cleaning and thinning it out. And I'm just going to use our comb and get rid of that under fur before we stack it. It'll help us stack it nice. It won't stick as bad. Get any broken shorties out of there as well. And just gonna stick that in there. And there we go. We need a huge overwing on this. It is just representing their wing casing, right? So you get some caddis patterns where it's like as thick as a sofa. Don't need that. Okay. And we're gonna move our thread up right at the base there where we tie in the wing ends, so just up by the body. Couple securing wraps. Then we want to have this sticking out about a quarter past the butt. Right about there is fine. I'm going to transfer it over, and I'm going to try and pin back the hackle there. And just soft wrap to start. And a second. And a third. Okay, and then just moderate tension, working our way back. At least 5 or 6 wraps. You want to make a nice little collar there. And just lower the tension as you're getting back towards the wing. You can adjust the amount of flare you get on your wing with the amount of tension that you're adding on here. I think we're good there. Bring it back again to where we started, and let go and see how we're sitting. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Got it 1 or 2 kind of partiers up front there, but I think we'll be good. We'll clean them up if they're not going to behave after. Okay, we'll throw in a half hitch up front here before we trim it, just to keep everything in place, keep our tension there. So half hitch tool, work our way up the head. Hey mate, how's it going? Okay, just gonna work these back. Got a few going cattywampus on me here, so we're just gonna get rid of those guys. There we go. Yeah, this is all gonna get pulled forward in about a 45 frontwards, and then we'll cut it off, make a nice little poppy head there. This will help it float upright and also give it a nice pop while you're retrieving it. Also imitates a nice bulbous head and eye stalks they have. Like so. Okay, and we're just going to throw a half hitch up front before we get our whip finish done. Try and push that head out of the way. There we go. I'll just keep our tension and give us our whip finish something to pull back on. Yeah, about 5 or 6 wraps on there just to thicken up the collar, clean it up as well. And we'll release our thread and just clean up a few stragglers here. Yeah, happy with him. There's a little 1 or 2 punk rocker-ish ones up front here, but morning, Jack Pepper. Good to have you in, mate. Yeah, it's a nice light-colored searching caddis. This one's called the Annihilator. Works really great when new hatches are out because a lot of things are a lighter color. They haven't oxidized off yet, so you got a really fresh hatch of really doesn't matter what, anything on the surface. Excellent little thing for that. So just gonna add some head cement on there. We'll do our spin and spiel. There we are, beauty. Yeah, happy with him. Turned out well. There we have a light caddis Annihilator. This guy's tied on a size, what are you, 10? Maybe a 10. Probably 10. In the Vice today, we have an Annihilator. This is a nice light-colored caddis imitation from the 30s. This is a good one to have. It's quick and easy to tie up. It's only 3 materials. You got your red hackle, in this case 2 hackle fibers, palmered all the way up to the front. We got some old vintage 1940s chenille for the body material. You can use any light-colored straw that you want to wind up for the body. So you can either use dubbing, wool, or in this case chenille. And for the overwing, we have some nice whitetail Appalachia just under the flank, between flank and body, so it has that nice light straw colored tips to it. Wonderful little pattern. You should definitely add a couple of these to your box. There we go, we'll go pop him with his friends here. Go hang out with his little light colored brother. Light colored brother from another caddis mother. There we go, new hook in the vise. Ready to get another going. Need to pull out some more hackle here though. This is just the one I'm using. It's red Indian neck and brown. It's got a little bit of furnace and a little bit of badger going on there. What a beautiful little saddle, eh? Look at the nice colors it's got. It's a beautiful little thing. Gorgeous shine to it too. We're just pulling off 2 saddles, like so. And I'm just going to strip down from the web here. Like so. And I'm just going to do this one a little different than we did the last one. Just for tying. Actually, looking at this one, I might need to remove some more web there. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, maybe just a little bit more. It's a little webby. Just a wee bit. Wee bit webby. Okay, so again, we're going to start about the 3rd mark here. Yeah, we're going to wrap that all the way back. Right to that. Right to the barb. There we go. And we're going to tie these in. Actually, a little bit on the long side. Shorten that here. That's better. So the other one we just tied in just the stub. In this case, I'm going with the full rake is tied in. Do the same with the second here. Come on, you. There we go. And we're gonna shorten you to. You're okay. We'll make you work. We'll make you work, sir. There we go. Okay, both of those tied in nicely. I think I have just enough here to finish this fly off. We're gonna find out though. Hopefully we do. Looks like we do. Generally pretty good about judging that. I had a little practice. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Because as we use a rotary here, it's going to unwrap. Just fluff that out. Beauty. Just the right amount there. A little tag end left, but that's fine. Hey, welcome back, London. Good to have you back, mate. Sage is always good. Oh, I had one and I wrecked it and tailgated my truck and I cried like a little baby. Don't tell anyone. Shh. Yeah, I saved up for a long time to get that thing. I was super happy with it, but I put it in my truck and slammed tailgate and it slid forward and broke it right in half. Both parts of the rod too, so I kept it around for a while in an attempt to fix it because I do rod making too, and I could have epoxied it and patched it up, but it was pretty trashed. But yeah, sage rods are nice. I don't remember which one it was, like the model that I had, to be honest. Oh, actually, yeah, let's wrap that 5 or 6 times so it'll unwrap as we're going this way. Come on, you. There we go. It just needs to follow the little groovy groove. There we go, there's one hackle tied in. There's second. Four, 5, 6, 7. I didn't quite follow the line like I wanted it to. Let's do that again. Oh, okay. That should work really well for nymphing and stuff. That and it'd look really good too. Orvis also makes really good stuff. Yeah, I'll clean up a little butt fluff there. Actually, I don't think there's too much for rear fibers I gotta worry about there. That actually went pretty straight. Just throw a couple half edges here to keep the tension down. We'll get to working on our wing here. Oh, I'm doing good today, Tyler. Good to see you in, man. Hope you're having a good weekend. We got some nice Appalachia whitetail here. There's a few broken fibers in this one, but I think we're good. So basically when it's flattened out like so, you can see I got it squish flat. You want to have it roughly about the height of the gap of the hook. I always go just a little bit more because after you clean it out and stack it, you generally lose a few. But gap height of the hook right up to the top of the body is a great starting point. There's our bundle. We're just going to get rid of that under fur. Ugh. Yeet it out of there. There we go. Had a good bit in there. That'll help it stack nice. I'm going to leave that one broken one in for now because it's got quite a nice yellow top to it. So it might be fine. We'll see where it lands. I think this will be the last of our searching patterns that we're doing. I think we're moving on to like Trout style flies. So kind of like a sofa pillow, Royal Trout, those ones. Okay, just packing it like a snowball. thread up higher. Right where that collar is going to be, basically. There we go. Okay, we want this to be sitting quarter past where the butt is, so normally right where this nice straw color ends. And I'm going to try and pin that down. Keep that hackle out of the way at the same time. That's good. Do 3 soft wraps, so we'll start with 1. Attempt to keep it right on top. I'm just going to tilt it slightly towards myself here. 2, 3. Little tension on it, and then we're going to start wrapping back. 5 or 6 wraps. Oop, that was a little too much tension there. Flared that front a little much. It'll be fine. I'm going to recover from that, but I shouldn't have pulled on it quite as hard as I did there. I'm just going to try and get it to settle down. Just make my wrapping job a little easier. There we go. Alright, so again, 5 or 6 wraps back. Less and less tension as you go back. That'll control the amount of flare you got going on your wing. If you want more flare, or you need more flare, more tension. Less flare, less tension. Couple wraps up to the front just to lock it all in, and we should be good to let go now. Beauty. Got a little bit off center there. Alright, yeah, that worked out well. Okay, gather all that front up and we'll cut the head nice. That's a nice little wing there. There we go. Yeah, and you want that nice little 45-degree front. That'll pop the water real nice when you're retrieving it in. Also help to keep it floating upright. It's got a few broken fibers I want to deal with there, but pretty much got her. Just 1 or 2 broken ones here. Alright, good deal. Yeah, I'm going to start with 2 half hitches in the front just to keep all that tension in place, and then we'll do our whip finish. So just work your half hitch tool up under the hair. That should, for the most part, push everything aside. Let you work that thread right in there. Beauty. And do our whip finish to build that collar up a little bit more. Let's see if we trap any of those hackle fibers while doing it. Pop that off. There's a couple underneath here that are kind of going the wrong direction. Just gonna clean those up. Not necessary, but may as well look pretty. There we go. Hey, Superflies. Good to have you in, mate. I'm gonna drop you a mod. There you go. Now you got a blue tag. All good. There, I fixed it for you. That one that's pointing forward there, wondering if yeah, I'll pluck them up. Why not? Oop, off the old stuff. There we go. Yeah, let's throw a little head cement on the collar there, and we're good. Really? Hit 100? Good for you, man. 100's a really hard benchmark to hit for sure. Honestly, hitting 100 is probably harder than hitting 1,000 once you get to 100. It's a dedication to sticking with it till you get those first 100. Good for you, man. You are on your way. It's hard, but it's worth it. Wouldn't be much of an achievement if it was easy, would it? There we go. Hackle's a little lumpy on the one side there, but overall I'm quite happy with that. That'll fish just fine. And in the vise we have a Annihilator. This is a light colored caddis imitation on a smaller size tan hook. Wonderful little pattern. You should definitely have this in your box for a searching pattern. It's always good to have a light colored searching pattern and a dark colored searching pattern. So just like the bucktail caddis we tied earlier, that would be your dark. And this one here, the Annihilator, would be your light. Simple little pattern with only 3 materials. You got your red hackle, you got your body material, anything that's like a yellow straw color would work fine, from wool to chenille to dubbing, and some white tail for the wing over top, or caddis, or I mean elk if you have that. And yeah, just tie her up like that, and it's a wonderful little thing to add into your box. Thanks kindly, eh? Thanks, guys. Yeah, super simple little caddis pattern. These are great for searching around creek mouths and if you're by a lot of bulrushes and stuff. Especially up north, we don't get like the big caddises like they do down south. Like these are more our size. If we're lucky, we'll get them, you know, this bigger or smaller. But it works great for imitating all sorts of topwater stuff like mayflies, anything that's hatching sitting on the surface. There's your dark colored ones with the orange and the mule deer. And then here's your light colored ones with the white tail and the chenille, yellow chenille. And I'm gonna put my bobbin. There we go. It's falling apart here. Okay, so again, 1/3 mark right where you're going to be tying in your wing. And then thread wraps all the way to the barb. Okay, we'll get 2 more hackles out of here. What a beautiful cape, eh? It's just an Indian rooster saddle, but it really is a nice cape. I'm trying to use up some of these slightly damaged ones. See how bent this one is. For body wrapping and all that, doesn't matter all that much, so you can use up your pieces like that and you'll be just fine. That one broke a little short. Let's grab another. Yes, everyone obey Streambot. Oh, did it again. Did it again. Hold on. Eventually I'll pull one out here without destroying it. There we go. Let's take this little guy out. Alright, so I got a much bigger one. Kind of a medium sized. Pull off the web. Tie these guys in. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're fun. I use them for different things like giveaways and stuff too. I can make you guys battle and do different things. Everyone's got their own animal. Who are you? You are a... Oh, you're the little chicken dude. I might change you to something different then. You got the same avatar as Wee Man, just slightly different color. So I'll swap you up and give you something different. You got a favorite animal? Yeah. You got a favorite animal, man? Yeah, I have a frog, I think. Let me check here. I don't think I have too much for bugs, unfortunately. I need to get some, like, dragonflies and stuff going on. Okay, just give me a second, man. I gotta find you on the long list of subscribers here. But thankfully, I only have to do this once, so not a big deal. Pretty sure I got a frog avatar I can toss your way. You are subscribed, right? I'm assuming. That's all good, man. It's not too much extra work. Just gotta find your name in this list of several hundred people here. That's all. It's all good. Sometimes it's easier than others. Unfortunately, it doesn't sort it by any sort of, like, when you signed up or anything at all. It's just random, so it's not even alphabetical. Okay, you should be in here. I'll find you. It's gonna take a sec. Got 20 pages of names to scroll through. I started at the very end and working my way forward, so my luck, you'll be on the first page. Why, I no see you. There's stream elements, K-fish. Oh, that's weird. Why don't I see you? Dusted, Yoshi. I'm gonna look one more time, man. Give me a sec here. If not, I'll get it later and I'll turn you into a frog. You have an avatar, so it should be on this list. There's Showflies, Manic. Spiritfly, Valhalla.
Well, it's all good, man. I am happy that you showed up. I like your stuff, man. You like your flies, and your stuff has like a lot of personality. Scenic fishing, Pacific. Why I don't see you? Okay, I might have to do this later, mate. You should be on this list though. You have a character. Sorry, I just have to code in a few things when I find you. I can change like your avatar. I no understand. Okay, I will have to deal with that after. I'm sorry, man. I will find you later, and I will, when we're not streaming, and I'll fix it up. No worries. I know I have a cute little frog in there that no one else has, so I'll toss you a little frog. Hey, Shark, how's it going? It's these are Hackle. I'm gonna be wrapping up. Yeah, we're doing a it's called an Annihilator. It's a type of light-colored little caddis. These guys right here. Oh no, I'm gonna be doing up some type of spruce Trout flies tomorrow, or maybe even later today. Probably tomorrow. Yeah, it's called an Annihilator. Hey Shark, I just sent you. Should be in the mail shortly, but I sent you a box of flies. Like 2 or 3 days ago. So it should be on its way. I sent one out to Rob and Shark and Dave across the pond and K-Fish. Why should they have a chance? They don't need a chance. There, second or third time I'm sending that, so hopefully it actually gets there this time. Kind of kicking myself I didn't pay for the tracking so I could tell where it is. But it'll either make it or it won't, so. I think they wanted like an extra 15 bucks of tracking. I was like, I don't really need tracking. Oh no, that's all good, mate. It's really hard to send feathers through the mail. All your little cute ducks are super cute, though. I've been really enjoying all the little shorts and everything. And you got a nice little setup, too. You got your heat lamp, a little deal for them, a little feeding area. Oh, okay, not your little guys. Short answer is yes, I do. Long answer is it's hard to get it through customs. Especially right now with all the ostrich. Yeah, they probably will, if they figure out what it is. I think it's silly, but they've been really cracking down on it since we had the, I don't know if you heard it or not, but all the thing where they killed all those ostriches. Not that far from me, actually, in a couple hours from me. They killed several hundred ostriches for the whole bird flu thing. So ever since that happened, they've been really, really cracking down on any sort of feather orders. I even had a few of my Temu orders turned back. And yeah, but it's funny because like I can't ship duck feathers, but I could buy like a, yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say I could buy a pillow or a jacket or like a multitude of other things that have duck feathers, and it's fine. But yeah, like I said, I'd like them, but I just, for right now, while everything going on, it's probably not worth me getting tagged with a shipping violation. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the whole politics of it, but I think it was stupid. There was no reason for them to kill all those animals. If anything, they would have actually been helpful for research because they got the bird flu and survived, and it was like, was it 2 years later almost that they finally put them down? But it's like, you know, if a bird lived 2 years after getting the infection, they're good, right? They got antibodies and everything. If anything, they should be studying them. But what are you gonna do? That's government stuff. But yeah, fortunately, shipping between our countries is not the easiest thing to do right now. Not any of our fault, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, come on now. Stick in there. I appreciate the offer, Shark, though. Really do. One day things will change and we can send stuff back and forth without all the hubbub. But until that happens, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Yep, that's exactly what I had to do. I had to do the app and I had to pay for each one and get the disclosure, and the app's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, it took me several days to figure it out. And that was part of the reason I had trouble sending it to Shark in the first place, is because they didn't have that app set up the first time, and everything had to be done by paperwork. Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt. Yeah. Hey, Richard in BC, I was just there. I went to a fanfare with my wonderful wife, and we got to go visit. She got backstage passes to go see all the hobbits. So she got to hang out with Sean Austin and Frodo and Pippin and Merry. It was really cool seeing them all. Yeah, if you're a Hobbit fan, that was a hoot. Seeing them in person all together. I mean, she got them to sign her copy of The Hobbit, an old copy their dad used to read her, so nice hardcover. So that was really cool too. Yeah, it's 25th anniversary. Honestly, probably the last time they're all going to get together unless they do that second movie they're talking about. But I don't know how many of them are actually going to be in the movie, because it predates the Shire, so. And Viggo Mortensen's not going to be in the new one, apparently. He's stepping back, but they're going to have Gandalf's going to be in it. And I think Smeagol's coming back. No worries, man. I appreciate it. I really like your flies and your lures and stuff, man. Like, they just have so much personality. I'm surprised I didn't run into you until Yoshi, you made that fly for Yoshi. But YouTube's funny like that. Some people will be on here for years doing the same thing that we all like doing, and like I'll never see them, and all of a sudden, poof, they're there. Yeah, he's not joking. The process for sending stuff to the States now is just such a pain in the butt. And it used to be super simple. I used to send stuff down to my wife and family in the States all the time, and it was just like, you know, throw some stamps on it, no problem. It'll get there in a few days. But they drastically bumped up all the processing fees and everything. And of course, with the gas hike too, there was a fuel surcharge. Awesome. I guess I'm probably right around there. So I started tying when I was, what, 6 or 8? Yeah, that you got a couple like whoppers, big friggin' 2x4s of halibut there. I was trying to comment on your short, but it wouldn't let me. My phone gets buggy when it comes to short comments. I can comment to someone else's comment most of the time, but making like a new comment, like if no one else has commented yet, it just won't give me the option to comment. Yeah, you got some. Yeah, exactly. I ended up just paying for the prepaid stickers because you need so many stamps. Oh, okay. Hey, John. Oh, I really like your stuff, man. Your flies have a lot of real personality. They're cool stuff. £600. I was gonna ask you what your total was. Some of those guys look like they were beefy, like you're having trouble just getting them in the cooler box. Yeah, that's probably a little much, but I think we're gonna go with that. I got a lot of broken ones in this piece, so it's probably gonna thin out. But I'm hoping that you and Rob will get them fine, and everyone else that I sent to will get them fine. And then I'd like, you know, it's a learning experience. Now I know what I need to do to get it there proper. The first time I didn't do the paperwork properly. The second time they didn't like it being designated as a gift and it got returned. This time it's designated as a gift, but I went through all the paperwork and app stuff to do it properly. That's still big. Yeah, I know. I don't know how much. Like, I was wondering that when I was looking at your like, no offense to your industry or anything, but when I was watching you catch them there, I was wondering how many of like the big old ones are still around, or if all the big ones have kind of been fished out. Cause you don't see like some of those old pictures from like, you know, the 10s or 20s or 30s. They're monsters. I think it's one of those animals that'll just kind of keep growing, doesn't really have a specific lifespan. Yeah, they can get big. I've always wanted to catch shallows, but I imagine bringing them in with a rod would feel like you're pulling in a sheet of plywood because they're just so big and flat. You gotta pull them right in up at the bottom. Yeah? Yeah, I don't think it's the fishing so much as it's everything warming up and that too. It's harder on everything. Okay, so we're gonna tie that in a little bit more. Halibut's one of my favorite eating fish. Too bad they're so oogly. Yeah, I'm glad they do it. In the same token, it's like, I don't know, I'm on the fence on some rules that they put in because it seems to be more about the bigger companies get access to stuff that they shouldn't, you know. But I'm glad they have conservation stuff going so we can keep doing it. Smarter people than me will have to make up all the choices. Okay, so 3 soft wraps. I'm try not to over flare it like we did last time. And about 5 or 6 wraps back to make a collar. One sec, I just cut one caught in there. Come on, booger. There we go. Might as well get it now so I'm not dealing with it later. What do you go for after you finish halibut? 'Cause I don't think halibut season doesn't run for that long, does it? It's like 4 weeks, something like that. Such an interesting fish, though. Go back to salmon? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so after you catch, so most people probably... Oh, okay, so most people, that's probably what... I just noticed that most people seem to fish for it for like that many, you know, a couple weeks or whatever, and then they're kind of done. So it's not a time frame thing, it's just a poundage. That makes sense. Oh, let's try that again here. Didn't quite get it tight enough. There we go. Okay. So do you, if you have like a bigger boat or whatever, do you get more poundage, or is it like a raffle like other hunting stuff? I wish I knew more about the whole commercial side of things, but it's one of those, it's just like most other industries, they don't really talk about it outside the industry, right? Okay. Okay. I think isn't that how they do lobster and a few other things like that too? I met a guy once that runs one of the largest lobster packing factories in Nova Scotia, and it was pretty interesting learning about it. They spend a lot of time actually um, keeping everything up, which is good. Oh, okay, so it renews every year. Is the tax based on what you have for quotas, or is it just like a flat tax? They're gonna get theirs one way or the other. Ugh. Yeah, Canada's got pretty strict rules, which is good and bad at the same time, depending. I know lots of commercial guys are super frustrated with offshore fishing and stuff when it's, other countries will come in and fish in their waters and then leave, and there's not a lot they can do about it. Okay. Well, they're gonna get their take one way or the other. Yeah, you're in Canada too, aren't you, Super? That's cool. There's not too many Canadian. It's not a whole lot of Canadian YouTubers, to be honest. Kind of surprised that there isn't more, especially in like the fishing. I only got a handful, like Mannix one, out fishing Ontario. There's another one I watch quite commonly. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot of regular streaming Canadian YouTubers. Were you more like, were you in the prairies, or? I'm trying to remember. I did check your channel out and I can't remember off the top of my head. Part of me wants to say Saskatchewan, but I think that's also wrong. Yeah, there's just like, it surprised me because there's so many people that are super passionate about fishing in Canada, and yeah, it just doesn't seem to be a thing with the whole YouTube. Okay, Ontario. Well, you're very similar to my neck of the woods, and Ontario is not terribly different than BC. You're more in the shield for mountains than, we have younger mountains here, but the environment and the fisheries are pretty similar. You just got the big lakes and we got the ocean. He's a little bit fluffy on the top there, but I think I'm gonna leave it. Probably settle down. Yeah, okay, happy with that guy. Yeah, just gonna throw some head cement on it there and we'll get our spin and spiel done. I think I just got one more of these and then I'll have a set of 5. Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, super. If you haven't, that's very true. Sometimes the buggier it is, the better it'll fish. Sometimes even after you get a few fish and they get all beat up, then they actually work better. Actually, that's generally the case. But yeah, super. If you haven't checked out Fishing Ontario, he streams fairly commonly. He does a little bit of time, but mostly like some jigs and that kind of thing. But he also does lure making. Yeah, I like fishing with the kids, especially like my youngest daughter. She's the only one that's really passionate about it. Like she actually gets that giddy smile on her face, and you know, it's just a whole different when they're really into it. And she really gets into it. I just tied some flies with her the other day. Actually, I meant to throw it on my community page this morning, so I'll have to do it after the stream. Some of the flies that we tied together. She likes fly tying with me, which is cool. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like listening to his stuff. He's laid back and just a decent dude. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I kind of want to get rid of those, but I think they're gonna just settle down. I think they're just kind of statically charged a bit. Okay, let's see here. Just gonna do a little spin and spiel. And in the vise today we have a... one second. Start that over, because I forgot what I tied. And in the vise today we have an Annihilator. This is a light colored, smaller caddis pattern, Elker caddis imitation. It's older, from about 1930 or so, and a really simple caddis imitation where it only has basically 3 materials. You got a yellow chenille body wrapped up. You can also use wool or Fentex or dubbing or anything you got that's a yellow straw color, and some red hackle polymered up the body, and an overwing of white-tailed deer in this case. You can also use elk hair if you have it, or make it more like an elk caddis, but traditionally was tied with the white-tailed deer with those nice straw-colored tips. Wonderful little pattern. You should definitely have a couple of these in your box for searching. There we go. Every once in a while I trip over my tongue. Do the word English thing. We're finally getting some nice spring weather here. We still got ice on a few of our lakes, but the couple around me are iced off enough that I can start fishing them now. They haven't turned over yet, so I'm hoping I'll get time this next week here to go toss some. One sec, guys. I'm just gonna pop my dog out. He wants to go outside. There you go, dog. Hailing? Ugh. Hail's bad because it can cause a lot of damage. I was in a couple hailstorms in Alberta, and oh, that was massive. We're staying in a hotel, and it was visiting. I got a lot of family in Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary area. And we were staying there, and they had a massive hailstorm and it just wrecked like this whole car lot that we were beside. Probably like 100+ cars just completely written off, just totaled. And the hail was, you know, fist size to like golf ball size, mostly golf ball, but there were some larger ones. And just obliterated them. Crazy how much damage it can do. Nimby let the dog out because he wants to pee. It's almost getting to that time of year where he's going to start chasing the squirrels. He's been having a lot of fun with all the birds coming in, but... Oh, now he wants back. Come on, man, you didn't even pee or anything. There we go, back. Okay, so we're gonna do some red hackles on this cape. It's just an Indian hackle or Indian saddle cape, so nothing special. I'll probably, I was gonna say $15, but these things have gone up in price too, but 15-20 bucks anyway. So not a high quality cape by any means. I definitely don't need a high quality saddle hackle for these flies. So you got two right on the side here I'm gonna pop off. Yep, got three by mistake. That's okay, we'll save you for later. There you go, so these will work fine. And you don't have to use saddle hackle, you can definitely use cape or whatever you got laying around. The hackle quality is not a big part of this fly because that wing's going to do most of the flotation work for you. But if you have some nice genetic hackle, it's really thick and bulbous, and you can use that for sure, and you probably only need one in that case. But the traditional pattern calls for two. And yeah, we're going to be moving on to the Trouts next, so like sofa pillow, royal Trout, that style of fly. Kind of like your cross between your streamers and your lake fish and stuff. I generally find that trolling them behind canoe works really well. Adding both of those in back here. Actually, I can trim that one a little better. There we go, that's better. Okay, bring it back up to our time point. We'll get our chenille in. This one is questionable, whether I'm going to have enough to wrap that. Let's give it a go. Worst case scenario is I just unwrap it and get a new piece. Better than throwing this one away. Alright. Gonna be close. But I don't like wasting this older material. I don't have an exact date on this, but I have a good sized cone of it. I want to say it's from about 1945, 50, somewhere there, judging by the branding and everything on it, or lack of branding. So with this vintage chenille, you gotta spin it up like that because it's flat when they produce it. And then just kind of puff it out. Yeah, I'm just gonna do 5 or 6 wraps here. I'm gonna use the rotary so I can try and get as much of this in there as I can. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we made her. Good deal. Yeah, I'll do it right there. Actually, had a little bit to spare. I thought it was going to be closer than that. There you go. Thread slipped down a bit on me, so I'm just trying to get it a bit closer before I tie it off. It's being a toot though, so we're just going to scoot over. Not going to worry about anything I pinned down because we got that second hackle to tie in anyway. And I'm going to try and get more long forms done. I did one this last week here. And I've always been meaning to do more of them, so I'm going to put a little more effort to try and get at least one a week done. It's a lot more time consuming than the lives, of course. All the editing. I do enjoy doing them. I'd like to have a better catalog of long forms. Okay, let's get that second one wrapped in. I feel like I should throw another half hitch on that. Use hackle pliers, get that wrapped in here. There we go. Nice and poofy. Those are two nice hackles. They really kind of flare it out wonderfully. Got quite a bit sticking forward here, but we're going to fix that in a second. Actually, we're going to fix that right now. pin him back, and then I'll tie him down. There we go. That should take care of that. And I'll clean it up and we'll get the overwing in and we're good. There, those are cleaned off. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that bushy little body. It's got nice segmentation on that one. The last one was a little bit cattywampus, but quite happy with that one. Alright. You whitetail. This one's specifically from Appalachia, which is supposed to have some of the nicest whitetail. It's the nicest whitetail, but it's nice that it has this like yellow straw color. It's very much like elk, just a lot finer, softer. Yeah, we'll get all that under fur coming out. Poof. There we go. It took a second for that to stack, right? There's our stack. Slid a little bit on me, but nothing crazy. There we go. Okay, gonna pack this in. There we go, that's nice. And we want to have that going about a quarter past the butt, or a quarter of the shank length past the butt. So mostly on this specific patch is kind of the nice light tan color. I'll try and grab that again. Got a lot of hackle fibers going forward. That's a little better. I think I got one or two stuck up top there, but we'll make do. slid forward a little more. Let's do that again. Sometimes it's better just to reset if you don't get it the way you want it the first time. Make life easier on yourself. Okay, soft wrap. Oh, apparently I cut a bunch of fibers there somehow. Not sure how that happened. Okay. I'm gonna gently let go and check this because I broke. Just kind of cut through it like butter, but using heavier denier, I shouldn't have done that. Could have just been some damage here or there. Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. Actually, that turned out better than I thought it was with how it slipped. I thought it was kind of buggered, but actually that turned out pretty well. Alright, I get a couple half hitches in there, just keep that tension in. Then we'll clip the front. Sometimes you just have a feeling like it's not going to go right. And I had that feeling, but apparently it went right, so. Might have had my cord, or my thread, not cord. Might have my thread tensioned up a little too much. I counter spin it, see if I can get rid of some of that. Yeah, it's flatter now. I'll just let it do its thing. I'm normally tying a bit slower, so I don't have to. Most of the time, I don't worry about my thread twist because I'm stopping and explaining things, and as I'm sitting there talking or just chatting with everyone, the thread normally unwinds itself. So I don't generally have to put much mind to it. There we go. I'm just gonna clean up a few broken ones there. See them bite by the collar. Okay. Yeah, and all told, that's a pretty good one. There we go. Okay, gonna get whip finish in here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, you're absolutely right that the website or the app and shipping to one other thing that the post person told me is that the app doesn't sync with people's addresses very well from the States, so they have to manually input everything. So, yeah, the whole process is just frustration layer upon frustration layer. It used to be so simple. There we go. No, it's all good, man. We're not going anywhere. Well, we are going somewhere soon here, but I'm gonna finish this fly first. But yeah, I was just saying how aggravating that app is. Was it like Zonos or something? I think it's Zonos. And I'm in the same boat as you because I live outside of cell service, so I can't just like whip it up and enter my information in. I gotta have everything pre-done at home where I got Wi-Fi, save screenshots. If I need to make any changes, then I gotta go back to where there's Wi-Fi because there's no cell service up here. So it is a effort, that's for sure. Oh, I'm hoping like these things, like it is better now than it was when I first tried to send stuff. So I'm hoping that things will just continue to get better. I'm definitely not a huge fan of that app though. I have data on my phone, I just have no cell service, so kind of the same thing. I live out in the middle of nowhere, in the woods. Okay, so just gonna do a quick spin and spiel here. Oh, and the vise today we have an Annihilator. This is a nice light-colored caddis pattern, like an elk hair caddis, just with white-tailed deer for the overwing. It also has some wonderful red hackles strung up along the body in palmered fashion, with some yellow body material. You can use anything from a chenille like we have here to a wool to dubbing. Doesn't really matter as long as you have that nice light-colored straw yellow. And it'll work just fine for you. So this is a light colored searching pattern. You should also have a couple dark colored searching patterns in your box for when all the winged hatches start coming off. Wonderful little thing. Add a couple to your box, eh? Okay, and we're back. I enjoyed hanging out with you too, Super. Like I said, I really enjoy your ties. I was checking out all your videos and stuff, and everything has so much personality. thank you. I'm not selling anything right now. But if I did. I used to do animations. Hey Doug. Hey Doug, I just sent you some mail. It's on the way. A few days ago. Got some flies coming your way. I'm not sure how long it'll take to get to you. Probably a while. Just coming regular old snail mail. Well, there we go. We got our 5 light Annihilators. And we got some of our orange bucktail caddises on this side. Those are dark ones. So a lot of times they'll tell you to have a dark and a light caddis imitation. So this would be what's normally in my box. Hey, no worries. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking your channel out more often. I really enjoy your stuff. Yeah, it's probably going to take a while, Doug. I'm assuming it's going to take a bit to get there. Last time I sent stuff just to the States there, it was, close to a month, I think, by the time they got it, maybe a little more. But I know things are getting slower and slower as issues progress. I appreciate it, guys. I'm getting hungry, though. I'm going to go grab me some, here, I got a little tea left, but I'm going to grab me some breakfast. There we go. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with me. It's been a good morning. Got my light caddises all done up, so we're moving on to some Trout patterns. So Trouts are basically kind of like Royal Coachman style, but in a bigger fly. So they normally have a big overwing to them, and quite a large hackle front. But we're doing up a bunch of different type of Trout patterns. Yeah, I'll fix your little chick later. Later, Doug. Later, Shark. Later, Doug. Later, Super. Hey, Villa popped in right as we're leaving, but that's okay. Later, Philip. Joan, what else am I missing here? I did Shark, didn't I? Did we have anyone else? I know Tyler dropped in earlier. I think he's gone for now, but he was in earlier. And that's as far as I can scroll up. Yep, everyone have a good night. Have a good weekend, all.